Okay, Paige is back already. Let's just wait for everybody to join and then we can finish. It shouldn't take us that long. I think question 6 and 7 is very much linked to each other. Most of us have joined already again. Okay, let's get Andrushka and Tanika back, and then I think we should be able. We should have a full house. Right. Where we left off with attitude is you're quite right. Your perception then forms your attitude, and based on the information you had, and then probably you said, oh yeah, those that particular group or that particular part of the community wears the shoe. Therefore, you don't want to be associated with that. And then maybe one day, and because remember, perceptions and attitude can change. Perceptions change because you have more, you're exposed to more information. Maybe then one day somebody said to you, "Oh, you know what? It's not shoes just for colored or a certain part of the community or
Mm,
gangsters. Did you see how much those shoes cost?" And then you
mm,
realize, oh my goodness, I might have been wrong all the time. My perception was based on not all the information available, and yes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that your perception can change. It doesn't mean that your attitude towards it changes. In other words, you can still your actions is not necessarily going to now change by you going to buy the shoes. You might just change your perception about it. You think, oh,
mm,
it's not a bad shoe at all, but you know what, it's still not my taste.
mm.
So
Yeah.
a positive change in perception, but not necessarily a change in your behavior to decide to buy it. Culture,
Mm.
how much do you feel your cultural groups that you're in, remember your beliefs, your customs, and your values play an important role in buying Converse All Stars or not buying it? Do you think culture is an important factor?
I can't say I don't have enough knowledge about other cultures, but from my cultural point of view, there's nothing culturally wrong with buying the shoes. It's not, yeah,
It's not
not.
offensive to a different culture by wearing it. It's not sending out a signal that a specific culture is symbolized because
Mm,
they wear those shoes, and as a result of that, yeah, it is part of their values. But no, it's not the case. I mean, as a matter of fact, for them to have been as successful as they've been over numbers of years now,
mm,
they've definitely not limited themselves to a particular culture. I don't think the brand is linked to a particular culture. It's definitely
mm,
multicultural, and people from all different cultures, regardless of what their differences in values and beliefs are, wear these
mm,
shoes. Plain and simple, because they're funky and they're trendy and they apparently not too cheap, but also not too expensive, and that's great. I mean, that's what everybody's looking for. I mean, the best deal possible. But who knows what the next thing that comes out or the next shoe that comes out can be much better than this, and then everybody's perception changes. It's a continuous changing process. This is a well-established brand who have not made any issues about targeting specific cultures, rather specific target markets and age groups, and age rather, or age groups rather, have been used as a criteria to segment the markets that they have decided to target. Reference groups. Reference groups, do they play an important role? How do they influence the buying decision of a pair of Converse All Stars?
I think for the target market, say for instance, the 13-year-old to 19-year-olds,
Hmm.
they're very impressionable. So if you see your best friend wearing those shoes, you're going to tell your mom you also want a pair of those shoes to fit in.
Yes, and
So I
especially,
think, yeah.
yeah, and especially because Converse have decided not to go mass marketing. They're not going to target the mass market and just manufacture an unlimited number of particular range or design. They are they they want you to feel that you have contributed, and it's that sort of that individual
Exclusivity.
exclusivity. I mean, you feel special. I mean, there's a limited amount of these shoes that's out there, and so and
Mm.
so, and Kobe Bryant wears these, and that's what. So they've used that the association through celebrities and certain role models very
Mm.
effectively to ensure that um, via those specific and mediums that people enjoy and support their brand. But the reference groups definitely play an important role, because reference groups could be, as I said, it could be the church group that you belong to, family, the group of students, regardless. There's so many, and they all could influence. Yes. You buying Converse All Stars or not. Um, Family goes with it as well, because family is a formal um, reference group, or one of the reference group categories. Um, we 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 see our family every day. We Our family has been there from the start, and I think family play a very important role, especially for the younger group, the 13 to 19-year-olds, because they will not necessarily be buying their own shoes, and therefore the influence of the family. Um, and there's many factors that could influence why family's influence is important. But I would definitely say yes. Obviously, budget considerations. My parents have never told me, no, man, those are ugly shoes. I'm not going to buy those shoes for you. Um, well, that they never really bought that for us. They from very early on they made it clear that you're getting pocket money, and if you want more pocket money,
Mm.
you've got to do more chores, and then you contribute. We will always go, Dad, I need these. Oh, you know what? Uh, if I was negligent, if I left my cricket boots or my rugby boots or my tennis shoes um, on the tennis court or at school or whatever, sorry, you're either not going to play your sport until you have saved money to buy a new pair, because that was your fault. But if I outgrew a shoe and therefore I needed a larger size shoe, then my parents contributed it. We always went 50-50. My parents said, listen, 50-50, and there's a cap on, you can't just go top of the range and we go 50-50.
Mm.
But I think that's very important. So yes, the family do play an important role at
Yeah.
especially the younger target market group of Converse.
Yeah. My family never, or my mother especially, because she was the one that bought our clothes.
Yes.
She didn't bring us up to be brand conscious. So we would buy our clothes at Mr. Price, Pep stores, because that was the only shops that there were. But um, we never wanted to have Adidas shoes and Puma pluckies and things like that. We just bought stuff because it was pretty to us.
When my oldest son is like that as well. I've got no, and I'm pretty sure the younger one as well, but he's just wearing school uniforms at the moment, and uh, so weekends and holidays are probably for social gear. And he's not very much into sports. So I mean, he doesn't necessarily require specific sport uniforms, rugby boots or cricket clothing and stuff like that. But both of them, and especially my oldest son, you'll take him to a shop for shopping, um, and he would pick exactly the opposite clothing that I thought he would pick. But he has a certain fashion sense. It's not.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, he walks up to something regardless what the label is. And recently, as I said, he bought. We bought clothing from Pick and Pay Clothing, and they've got fantastic range of clothing. To be
Mm.
honest with you,
Yes.
and he said, "Dad, this is the most comfortable. I've tried some of the others, some of the branded ones. They just don't fit. Well,
Mm.
I don't feel good in it, regardless what's on the label. He'd much rather
Yeah.
go for a. And if he buys, strangely enough, if he buys labeled clothing, you won't buy labeled clothing that's displayed on the outside. If he
Oh,
buys an
wow.
Adidas shirt, he doesn't want Adidas on the shirt, T-shirt, or the shirt visible to other people to
Mm.
say like he's wearing an Adidas shirt. He's
Mm.
comfortable with Adidas only being in his collar or wherever the label is. Strange, but yeah, I suppose I'm thankful for that because I know for a fact. My mother turned 86 on Sunday, and I said to her, "Mom, for some other reason on Friday evening, I dreamt about an episode that we had when I was in grade nine. Now, grade nine at that stage was 1980, so that's a number of years ago. And um, I said, can you remember there was not a shop in the West? That was before Tiger Valley and those places, and Canal Walk and all these malls. Can you remember, Mum? We walked for 2 days from shop to shop in Cape Town and in the northern suburbs, whichever shops there were, to find a specific boot I was looking for. I was in search of a boot to go with my jeans. I don't know why, but it was a boot phase for everybody in grade nine. And and I think for her, probably after about the 15th shop, all the boots looked the same. But to me, it wasn't. I was looking for something specific. And it's strange that we are like that. And I can remember it was not a branded one. I want there were branded ones that looked very nice, but I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for one that looked like the branded one, but didn't show the brand. Strangely enough, I've never it just popped in my head on Friday evening when I dreamt about it, and yes, apparently it has rubbed off unconsciously. That's how I raise my children as well. Right, everybody. Question 6 and 7 is pretty much the same. Question
Yes.
7 sort of Question 7 sort of just wanted you to discuss and embroid on those 5 factors that was listed in question 6. I think we have done that. Is there any
Yes.
questions in this regard that you have um, about any of the questions or the work that was done in chapter 3?
Is this how they are going to ask the questions during the exams and the tests?
Yes, as a matter of fact, your first
Okay.
taste of it would be the online class test that is available from Friday.
Okay.
On Canvas, if you click on week 3, on that front page it says quizzes and surveys and assignments. If you click on quizzes, there will be a quick link to your quiz. The quiz is similar to this. It gives you a case study and it asks you questions on the case study. So your quizzes will be like that in the same pattern will continue into your tests and exams as well. Um,
Okay.
this one opens tomorrow evening at 12. So in other words, Friday morning at early hours of Friday morning, the quiz will be available and you've got 2 attempts to complete the quiz, and the quiz will be closing on at 12 o'clock on Monday evening. So I want you to give it some thought and spend some time on it. There is a time restriction. You've got 60 minutes to complete it once you've started it, but you also get 2 attempts to do the class test. Okay.
So,
It's a case study with 3 questions related to the case study. And that's going to be the trend I've set all 4 of your class tests already. They follow the same pattern. And this is this is how you can expect your all forms of formal assessment to happen for this particular module. Yes.
Okay, so thank you.
Okay, no problem at all. And as I said, if you are aware of the option on Canvas where it says inbox here on the drop down of menu on your left hand side, you don't have to email me. You can actually email through that as well. That's a nice way of quickly communicating with me, because I'm regularly on Canvas, and I'm pretty sure you guys are as well. So you can just drop me a mail there. Go to that inbox, send me a mail. I'll reply, because I have to admit, I'm almost more on Canvas than I am on Outlook or any other platform. So that is easier to communicate. If you have a question, even on the weekend, if you have a question related to the class test, remember it's a self-assessment. It's a class test. You do it on your own, but you can use your textbooks. Yeah, as I said, it's basically it covers chapters 1, 2, and 3, and that's why I wanted to give you time to do it properly rather than rush it. I don't want a class test that's available, okay, from 8 o'clock this morning till lunchtime, and then maybe you have 3 classes, then you can't do it. So I've given you proper time to do it. So use it as a form of revision, because it is similar format to what you can expect in tests and exams.
Okay, so
Okay, if anybody else has a question, you're more than welcome to ask me. If not, thank you very much. End of week 3, believe it or not, I have, and I can unofficially give you an indication, your midterms, your test week, I think is the 19th. You can see it on your module schedule as well on Canvas. Is the week of the 19th to the 23rd of April. I've made a suggestion yesterday. As I said, the timetable is not official. We've all been requested to suggest dates and to obviously consider other modules that you have as well. But for the moment, until it is officially confirmed, your SMA 32 module on services marketing, that test will be written as an online course on Monday, the 19th of April. Once it's confirmed, obviously it will be done through announcement on Canvas. Okay.
okay, thank you, sir.
You're more than welcome. Enjoy the weekend. Although it's only midweek in this week, I will see you guys. We'll continue chatting on Monday.
Okay, thank you. Bye,
Thank you.
sir.
Keep safe. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.